How's everybody? So new review for you guys today. We're talking about the latest comedy, Good Boys. Once the promotional material started popping up for Good Boys, it really did pique my interest, especially that first Red Band trailer that had Seth Rogen in it. It just looked really funny, and just the whole idea, the concept of Superbad style humor, but instead of high school, it's sixth grade boys. It just seemed like a very interesting concept to have that same kind of crude humor, but put them in a middle school setting instead. Of course, the comparisons to Superbad are going to be very obvious, especially since the producers of this film are Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen, and Jonah Hill, who all were involved with Superbad. I think if you're into that kind of humor from films like Superbad and Neighbors, it's definitely right up your alley, because I had a lot of fun with this film as well, because I like both those films. The formula the film follows is one we've become used to over time, where a group of people go on this wild adventure all set within one afternoon. But since it hasn't been done before with people this young, these sixth graders, I feel like that's what makes it kind of more fresh and unique in that sense, because we've never had that done before. We've never really seen that. But also, I think it makes some of the stuff funnier because of these young kids. They're very young and naive, and they're dropping like F-bombs and trying to figure out life problems and have some sexual stuff along the way as well, which was actually hilarious, I have to admit. Because I'm used to Jacob Tremblay being this really serious, proper actor in very many films. I'm just not used to him dropping like F-bombs and making sexual humor jokes. It felt off, but in a funny way, because I haven't seen that from him so far. Of course, not every single joke lands, but I'd say the majority of them do, especially the ones between the three kids. I think they have really good chemistry together. Jacob Tremblay as Max is phenomenal, but the other two kids, his two friends, are really great as well, Thor and Lucas. Especially Lucas. Lucas actually was a really great scene stealer for the most part. He kind of reminded me of like a mini Craig Robinson, but he was really great. Even Thor. I mean, Thor is kind of like the more like trying to be cool, badass kind of middle school kid, which we all know and hated when we were growing up, or tried to be. But he actually fits into that role really well. This film does have some of the same familiar beats we're used to with this genre. It is one of the offenders of one of the tropes I'm really not a big fan of, and it's where they forcibly make the characters have this big fight and they all go their separate ways just so they can make up later on. It really just drives me nuts when like all of these films do that, because it's not really needed, I feel like, but in this film it feels more organic than some of the other films I've seen that do it, but it was still thrown in there, and it's one of those tropes that really drives me crazy. Some things I do think could have been done better, like the actual story itself. While it is a very entertaining film, it does jump back and forth a lot between a lot of different things, which makes sense when you have to have everything all happen during one day, which can be kind of difficult for a script to do and actually feel organic. But I really just feel like it could have been executed better. It just jumped too many different places, too many different characters going along on this journey with our main three middle schoolers. One of its benefits, though, I think, is that it is a shorter film. It's less than 90 minutes long, so it doesn't really drag in any parts. The pacing, for the most part, is okay. Like I said, the story, there's too much stuff going on at certain points, but you're going to be fun and invested in the characters and their crazy, wild adventure and their crass humor throughout with all the different random things. You've seen probably some of it in the trailers, but they actually do keep a lot of things hidden. One of those things that does drive me crazy about many comedy films, especially with the trailers, is that they reveal too much in the trailers, but there actually is a fair amount that they kept hidden from the trailers. That actually ended up being some of the funniest laughs I had throughout the entire film. But I think if you're into this style of comedy, the whole Seth Rogen crude style of humor, you're going to get something out of this. I think you're going to enjoy it, at least for the most part. I don't know if you're going to enjoy it as much if you're not into that style of comedy, but I think it's worth at least checking out. I mean, it's a short film. It's less than 90 minutes long, so if you have some time to kill, less than 2 hours, why not pop on this comedy and check it out? I mean, it's very rare you're going to see a film of this, like, where it's sixth graders doing this crude, crazy, wild adventure stuff, so may as well give it a chance. I don't know if we're ever going to get another movie like this, to be honest. It's definitely a rare breed of comedy that I don't think it's going to catch on. I don't think this movie's going to be popular enough to have this whole subgenre of these crude comedies, but with little kids. But yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Good Boys. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think of the film if you've seen it already? I know we got some screenings out there, and it also premiered at South by Southwest, so I know a fair amount of people have seen it already, so let's get a discussion going in the comments, but make sure it's spoiler free, because this film doesn't come out until August 16th, so we got a little ways away until it actually comes out full release in theaters. But if you haven't seen it yet, let me know in the comment section down below if you're looking forward to it. Are you a big fan of Seth Rogen style comedy? Does it seem like up your alley, or are you going to give it a shot? Either way, let's get the comment section going, because, I like talking about all things movies here. But thanks so much for checking out that review for Good Boys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you want to keep doing movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.